Hey, I'm Jordan. We're going to do a bonus roundup this month. I know I missed a couple months. I've been playing a ton of games recently. I figured I'll do an extra one. One video in for May with May, my daughter, and one with just me. So let's talk about some games. This first one came to me as a surprise. This is from the op. I did receive this as a review copy. Actually, all 4 of the games I'm talking about today I've received as review copies. I forgot I requested this one, and I'm really happy it did show up because I think it's really a fun one. This is TACTA. This is from the op. You got a shiny box here. We know we like a shiny box around here. And this is a card game in which you are using cards as tiles, and all the tiles are going to have these different shapes on them. Triangles in the corners, maybe triangles in the middle, long rectangles, longer rectangles, squares in the corners, that kind of thing. And you're going to be putting them over on top of each other, covering those different shapes with the same shape. So if this one has a corner here and this one has a corner on the corner of the card, you can put it right there. You're trying to get all of your dots, as many dots as you can, to be visible at the end of the game. So you're also covering other people's dots. It is a very in-your-face kind of game. You're definitely doing things to mess up your opponents, remove points from them, but also position yourself in a way that they can't mess you up. Very tactical. TACTA is the name of the game. So you got that going for it. And it just looks super cool on the table. The colors are really bright. It's almost like a neon kind of vibe. It plays 1 to 6 players, I believe. Or 2 to 6 players, I suppose. And it just works. It's just a really interesting one. I've played it with 2. I've played it with more players. It is a bit more chaotic with more players. It's harder to kind of track everything that's going on. 2 players, it's more of a back and forth kind of game where you're trying to mess up your opponent and they're trying to mess you up. But it's kind of an unassuming game, but it looks really cool on the table, and I really enjoy it. TACTA. Alright, this next one is the companion of another game in my other roundup. That one was Iliad. This is Ichor. This is another 2-player abstract game from Reiner Knizia and Bitewing Games. In this one, I remember when I was looking at it when it was on Kickstarter, I was looking at it thinking it was kind of like Stratego, where you had these kind of standees in a grid, in a line. You're moving along this grid board, and I saw that the different characters have special powers. And so in my mind, it'd be like Stratego, where they're kind of moving differently or doing different things on the board. Well, it's a little different than that. This is more of an area control game where you're moving your pieces around, and then you're dropping tokens on the spaces that you've moved through. They kind of move, all the pieces move like rooks in chess, as far as you want, in a straight line kind of thing. And then you're going to be dropping these tokens along the way, and your first person to get out all their tokens wins the game, or wins the round, and then you switch sides, and then you play again. Anyway, the one player is playing as the monsters, one player is playing as Greek gods, and all of the pieces have special powers, but you can only use the special power once per game. And the games are very quick. We're talking like, it says 40 minutes total. That would be like 2 back and forths. And I've played games that lasted like, 10 minutes a pop. There's also a different side of the board that would be longer, and I think that's probably where the 40 minutes is probably coming in, because most of my games are much shorter. Maybe I'm not any good, or maybe my opponents haven't been very good. I don't know. Actually, I don't think I've won this, but regardless, I think this one's really cool. I think all the special powers are really cool. It's one of those games where like all the special powers feel really special. You're like, oh man, I can't believe you get to do that. And then they look at yours and like, I can't believe you get to do that. And it just kind of has this nice, not everything's broken, but it almost feels like, oh great, you get to do that now, and oh, you get to move diagonal, or you get to move off the board and then back on the board on the other side. You have a different win condition now because that piece is out. It's just a lot of cool and a lot of cool gameplay, and a lot of really clever gameplay, because the game, it's like, if you just say like all the pieces move like rooks in chess, and then you drop the tokens from where you were. Like if you could teach the game without the special powers and then just say once per turn you can use the special power and it's written on a card, so you don't have to teach all the special powers. It's super good. I like this one a lot. Ichor, check it out from Bitewing. They've been knocking it out of the park recently. I love their stuff, as you guys know. And Iliad and Ichor are both really great. Alright, this next one is from 25th Century Games, another review game. This is Run, Run, Run. This is a fully cooperative game where you are trying to think of The Mummy, like the movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, but all the characters are dogs and cats instead. I don't know why, but they just are. And you are trying to get out of the pyramid before the mummies get you. Yeah. And so there is, I'll be honest, I think I would rate this game like a 6.5. It's like just below the kind of game I would want. It had some kind of wonky movement rules with the mummies. There was some dice rolling. It just kind of felt a little random at times with the way it kind of the cadence of the game as you're moving around. The tile placement is really interesting. You're placing the tiles, which are rooms in the pyramid, but you want those they're going to have symbols on them, and you want to place them in such a way that you can move through them, but that the different symbols are going to show up in different patterns in the pyramid. So like that placement is really interesting. But when it comes to like movement and then moving the mummies and the way the mummies are trying to get to the different place, it didn't really hook us. We all played the game. We're like, yeah, this was okay. This was good. Like it's a solid game. The gameplay is really works, but it just didn't. It was just kind of lacking like a good hook for us. I think maybe that's the best way to put it. So Run, Run, Run. I think it's all right. Not one I'm going to be probably coming back to. It was just shy of a game I'd recommend. So check it out if it sounds good. I know some folks might like it. So there you go. Run, Run, Run. This last game is from All Play. This is going to be available at the upcoming conventions, and it'll be available, I think, on their website soon. This is For the Emperor. This is a tiny box game, so they have a couple different size boxes. They got their normal size box. They got their square box, which is like Sail, Things and Rings, Fiction, those square boxes. And we got these tiny games. So we had Panda Panda, we had Fairy, Prey, and Rainbow were the first set of them, and then two more came out. Slambo, which I talked about in my other roundup, and then For the Emperor is the other tiny game that came out there. They're both Japanese themed. And this one is, I saw it described online as Battle Line with powers, which I think is super true, or Shot and Totten, I guess you will, with powers. And you are going to have this line of battlefields, and you're going to be playing cards up to those battlefields, and all the cards are going to have a number power, and you're trying to have a higher number power as your opponent. But in For the Emperor, what you have is almost every card. I don't think the highest value card has them, but almost every single card has a special power. So whenever you play it, maybe it doubles the values of the other cards there, or maybe it allows you to add a token somewhere else that's going to increase the value of a card there. Or maybe it lets you pull up a card and play a different card somewhere. Or it lets you swap something, or it lets you put, there are going to be these banners at each of the battlefields as you're playing the cards down, and that shows you the maximum number of cards that can go in that battlefield. So one battlefield will be a 4, a couple of them will be 3s, and so on. And so you're also trying to manipulate how many cards are going to be at each of those battlefields. So it's got a little bit more going to it than like a Battle Line or a Shot and Totten. But there's a lot to like in this little game. Battle Line came in a bigger box. Shot and Totten was even smaller than that one, and this is even smaller than that. So if you're looking for that style of game, I would definitely consider For the Emperor. I think it's a really cool one. If you like those kind of back and forth 2-player games, this is a super nice, compact kind of version of that style game. So For the Emperor, check it out from All Play. Should be available widely soon, I suppose, right? All right, there you go. Those are 4 more games for May 2025. 2025. That's a wow. All right. Yeah.